folks. How are you? I am your host, Brian Jurgens, also known as Brian Schyler, here on the CineCast podcast with my super duper host of the month of the year here in our lovely Second City, Murph in the morning, right Woo. There, folks. We are so happy that you're joining us, and you can tell that our ensemble has changed here a little bit. We've got a different setup, this is our OnlyGovs. We seem to have called it. We like to call it the OnlyGovs segment, and we're going to talk to you about all things Chicago, of course, entertainment, dining, movies, sports, and anything to do with Chicago, the river, the dying of the river coming up very soon.
Yep.
That's right. They're going to, now when I say dying of the river, I don't mean the river's going to die, because trust me, it's already dead.
No, they brought it back to life.
They brought it back to life. How did they do that? The thing was dead. Suddenly it's back. We don't know how it's back, but you know, we like that. And the Chicago River is definitely one of the highlights, the high points of Chicago, especially if you're downtown wandering around and you see all this chain of bridges that comes, London bridges, but it's Chicago bridges falling down. Murph, we're going to talk today about, of course, Chicago things, but we were talking about the Blues Brothers.
Yes.
Speaking of bridges.
One of the greatest scenes in that movie is where they jump the bridge.
They jump the bridge.
It's going up.
They jump the bridge. And if you're familiar with the Blues Brothers, folks, and I assume you are, if you're a Chicagoite, Chicagoan, and you see the bridge scene.
Lover.
That's our film lover.
Film lover.
That's right. Who isn't a film lover, especially at 2 a.m.? We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
But, the two, now if you're familiar with the Blues Brothers, the two Nazis that are chasing the Blues Brothers throughout the film.
The Illinois Nazis.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
I love that they're driving station wagons, too.
That's right. Stage, very important. The family truckster. That's soon to come up in Vacation. Another Chicago-style movie with Chevy Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Another guy out of Second City. But they look at each other as they cross that bridge, and they just go, "I've always loved you."
Yeah.
And he goes, "I know."
Yeah, that's like that.
Wait a minute.
Somebody forgot to turn
now
their phone off.
Spike Lee would say on his set that's $20. The problem is that Spike would pocket the 20. Right, $20 on the set.
So back to back to the Illinois Nazis.
Right,
and that car scene, right, where they drop the car. It's like the most insane scene I've ever seen in a movie. They literally drop the car
from like 2,000 feet with a helicopter. Yeah, right. And it's just falling for like 10 minutes
down. Right. I think it falls into Meigs Field too.
Well, it may fall into Meigs Field. I know that I saw in the background you can see the Marina Towers.
Okay.
A lot of people call that the Corncob Building or the Honeycomb Building. It's that oddly shaped, and if you've ever been in there, two towers together, built in the early 60s, I think. Marina Towers, and made out of like just concrete. Beautiful.
Yep. That's the craziest thing too about rewatching the Blues Brothers.
Yeah,
all the scenery of Chicago is completely different.
It is.
Stuff's missing, there's,
well, first of all, this is probably made in like 1982.
It was 79 and released in 80.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was way off.
No,
but
a couple of years.
A couple of years. Go ahead.
Right.
But, many of the tall buildings we have now, like 900 North Michigan Avenue, which is the Bloomingdale's building, many of those buildings weren't built yet.
Right.
Weren't created yet. As our buddy Big T would say, make it make sense. Big T, we're looking for you, buddy.
Yeah,
we're looking for you on the show. We know you want to come out and express your digestion of Chicago architecture, Big T, because what you're doing out on the East Coast in New York and Philadelphia is just amazing.
Fun stuff.
It's fun stuff, and we love. And I'm not going to say it's conspiracy theory, though I just did. It's not conspiracy theory, but we'd like to know. And a lot of you guys would like to know out there how they built these massive buildings with donkey carts, pulleys, a bunch of guys not getting paid a lot out of sandstone, limestone, monstrous buildings. And
not to mention, a lot of people didn't have shoes back then.
Didn't have shoes. There's no safety whatsoever.
Right. They said that
no OSHA.
A lot of the people that built it were slaves and criminals, like prisoners.
Right. So
but
slaves and criminals.
Really master craftsmen?
Yeah. Well,
are they really?
Oh, you're gonna be.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a master craftsman. Yeah. But you do wonder, stonemasons. Guys here in Chicago, at least I don't know about the East Coast, JP Morgan, more of an East Coast guy, but like McCormick, with McCormick Place is named after here in Chicago. You've got other Mies van der Rohe, great architects here in the Chicagoland area who built this incredible city, which, by the way, is the most perfectly, I don't want to say perpendicular. I'm looking for the right word here, but evenly built city. It's just
nice
beautiful.
Grid. It's a nice grid system.
Hey, it's a nice grid, my friend.
Nice grid system.
Yeah, it's a nice grid system. It's absolutely beautiful, stunning.
Yep.
We have alleys, which is different from New York.
Yes.
Right, because we don't put our garbage out on the front stoop, which is amazing to me. And if you go to New York, and I know New York's a strange topic for a lot of people. Oh, I'd never go to New York. You should go to New York. It's absolutely beautiful. It's amazing. You can see a rat running with pizza down the street in Greenwich Village.
Yep.
I know I did. And listen, and is their pizza okay? New York has good pizza. It's not Chicago. I'm sorry, it's not. I'm not talking about deep dish. I'm talking about the crusty, crinkly, good snap and pop crust with the great sausage and of course the great red sauce on top.
It is the for decades, right?
Well, for decades, and also people say, in the words of Dennis Farina, it's the water. Well, Dennis Farina, great Chicago actor, Dennis Farina, Chicago police officer for many years. He was on Thief. He's great in Get Shorty. Yeah, absolutely great in Get Shorty.
One of my favorite is Snatch.
Oh yeah, sure. Snatch,
he's amazing in that movie.
Snatch is great. Yeah, I want a caravan. I need a caravan for my mom.
But back to McCormick Place.
Oh, and back to McCormick himself, Cyrus McCormick, the builder here in Chicago.
That's right. So there is another great scene in the Blues Brothers. Where they have they show the McCormick building.
Left you and me
it's all
to ride.
Under construction.
So
the ramps aren't there or anything to get it. So it's like right at the beginning of that actually being built.
And I think they've since. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, and you should be if you're watching Chicago Style Podcast, here at CineCity, the corners of Ogden and Western, even though Gabe would say, it's on 14th. What are you talking about? Hey, this is minutia. It's minutia. Use your phone. Right. Hey, Magellan. Find your way. These guys crossed the ocean 400 years ago, 600 years ago. The Great Wall of China was built 2,000 years ago. This guy can't find his way to Ogden Western.
Allegedly 2,000
right.
My favorite thing about
Big T. Big T would say, make it make sense.
Right, because all of a sudden, they've realized that the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
Well, it wasn't that great because it wasn't keeping people out. It was keeping them in.
It was keeping them in.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what they're finding. They're like, wait.
Thank goodness they got over the Great Wall of China. We'd never have iPhones. That go off in the middle of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
There it goes.
Oh, I bumped my mic for lack of a better term, if you know what I mean. I bumped my mic. But the Great Wall of China, built 2,000 years ago, allegedly,
longer.
Supposedly.
I think it took 2,000 years to build it.
Right. So they finished it last month. Is what you're saying.
Let's see what we get.
Speaking of the Great Wall of China.
How long ago was the Great Wall of China?
I had a little Panda Express very recently. And apparently it's what we used on the CineCity Christmas tree down in the lobby, decorated beautifully by the staff here with barbed wire and apparently some older chow mein that we pilfered from a local Panda Express over here in the neighborhood somewhere.
That's right.
You're going to say
and
something.
This just in. Great Wall of China.
Folks, this just in. Breaking news.
That's right. Breaking old news.
Breaking old news.
Yes. The Great Wall of China was built over a period of more than 2,000 years.
Over a period of more than
the earliest fortification dating back to the 7th century BC.
Fortification? What does that mean?
Yeah, it means building it up nicely. Hey, I hit my mic too.
Oh, we're having mic issues here.
That's all right. We're learning.
Right, we're learning. Right, this is our. By the way, folks, you're used to seeing us at the traditional black magic table that CineCity provides us. That if you lean a Bic pen on one end or the other, it flips over into a massive kind of a martial arts pose.
Right.
But today we're doing the OnlyGovs. We've got these chairs. It's wonderful. I like it. I don't quite know what camera's mine. I guess it's this one.
Yeah, you got that one.
I got that one right there.
That's the main one.
That's right. They can see us from all directions.
That's right.
That's right. We're surrounded.
They can see our knees finally.
I want you to, in the words of Jack Nicholson, I want you to hold it between your knees. Hold the mayo, hold the chicken, hold the tomato, hold the bread. Well, sir, what else do you want me to hold? I want you to hold it between your knees. That's the old Jack Nicholson right there.
Nice.
But I'm failing on the title of that movie. So
yeah,
it's not Chinatown, but it's in that era.
Okay.
You know, I'd ask GC for help, but he's sleeping.
Yeah.
So he's not sleeping. He's hibernating.
Hey,
it's that time.
of
He's
year.
going to wake up soon and hunt for female GCs around in the woods and, to procreate. And there'll be more GCs. And listen, never walk up. We all know that. Now, not that we have them here in the Chicagoland area, bears. Right. Because we all know the Bears are moving to Hammond.
Ooh.
Right. Hammond eggs.
Very interesting.
In case you're hungry.
Right.
That's right. People told me yesterday at work, they're like, oh, we're going to Aruba. We're all going to Aruba. You should come to Aruba with us. So where are you going, Brian? I said, Hammond eggs.
Ooh.
In case I'm hungry. That's right. And now, look, if it's good enough for the Bears, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And I have been in Arlington Heights. I'm a fan.
Okay.
And the Bears are figuring it out. I think these are all chess and checkers moves with the city and with the state. Listen, it's like dating with the Bears. Oh, well, we'll just leave. Well, no, don't do that.
It's Indiana too. Let's throw it out there.
Indiana.
Indiana has tendency.
Indiana's the other chick.
They want to take the Bears.
They want to take.
They also are doing something too, where they're trying to take counties.
Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in.
So they try to take Illinois counties too. Like,
Illinois counties.
Like, why don't you come live in Indiana? You're more like Indiana.
And apparently there's less taxes in Indiana.
Right. So Indiana's kind of like they got their little hooks. They're like, hey,
see, that's the other chick.
Right.
Right. That's the side chick, Indiana. That's right. They want the Bears. You can't blame them. Remember, they've got all the little casinos over there.
Yep.
Oh, Chicago, come this way. And Chicago, by the way, is the mother of things like the Women's Temperance League, which started Prohibition back in the 1920s or whenever that was. Can you imagine from the principality of Cook County itself, or I hate to say this, my hometown, Evanston, Illinois, ladies and gentlemen, where Prohibition started. Evanston was a dry city until like 2005. Recently, you couldn't get liquor at a restaurant, and you couldn't buy liquor. You had to bring it in. You had to smuggle it in through a Dempster Street beach with a submarine. What was folks? Speaking of submarines, they just parked one downstairs here at CineCity, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody dropped the soap, for lack of a better term. Not that there's anybody around here who's done that before.
Never.
No,
Not in this building.
No way. Soap, heck, there's not even a shower. You can't get clean around here. You just stay dirty, and that's the way we like it here on the Chicago Style Podcast. Now, the Blues Brothers filmed mainly, I want to say, of course, here in the city of Chicago.
Right.
And then it seemed like a little bit in Calumet. Yes, Calumet or Joliet.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Yes. You said yeah, that's great. His name is Lorenzo. Yeah, Lorenzo. He's that's great. Now listen, Lorenzo, hang on for a second, so we're going to come out there and say hi to you, or you can just open the door, walk in, and sit on the couch. I don't know if you can hear me or not, but Lorenzo is first of all, he's a veteran. He's an Army veteran, a highly decorated Army veteran. Here he comes, ladies and gentlemen. Lorenzo, ladies and gentlemen, fresh from the streets of Chicago. And what a great veteran himself. I'm actually going to stand up and say hi to this man right here. A couple of veterans right here. And
how you doing? Nice to meet you. Pleasure.
This is Big Zoe, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, that's Giancarlo right there. And he's wonderful. Lorenzo is a guy that we respect a lot. And he runs a great organization for Hispanic veterans and also Bears fans of all kinds, probably the largest tailgate in Chicago. And when the Bears are playing, if they're not playing in Hammond eggs, like we mentioned earlier, hopefully not, at least in my opinion. I don't mind going to Indiana, but I don't have that, but I don't have that much Kevlar to get around. I don't wear like I used to when I was in the Marines, and I'm sure Zoe on occasion will carry a little Kevlar with him. Now I did have a dog named Kevlar. Who's no longer with us. He didn't die. He just left. Yeah.
Understandable.
Remember Dorothy by the way, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, another Chicago product. L. Frank Baum, who wrote the Wizard of Oz back in 1905. I'm sure somebody's going to check me on that, Fred O'Reilly. Jeez. Now Fred O'Reilly's a good friend of ours.
Yes. What up, Fredo?
Fredo, what's going on, buddy? And we brought up, I was depressed recently, and I brought up, the now known not as Cat Stevens, but the Harry Chapin song, Cats in the Cradle.
Yes, we got that wrong.
Silver Spoon. Well, we got that. We get a lot wrong around here. That's okay. It's Chicago. There's nothing wrong with getting stuff wrong.
Not at all.
You know, they don't listen. I wasn't wrong. I was misinformed. You know, I believe that was Humphrey Bogart who once said that.
Oh,
That's
nice.
right. You know, he was in Casablanca and he goes, "What are you in Casablanca for?" He said, "Me? I'm here for the waters." "Waters? What waters? We're in the desert." I was misinformed. You know, and that's my bogey right there.
Nice.
A lot of people don't know who Humphrey Bogart is.
Well, I want to bring back the North Atlantic.
You want to bring up the North Atlantic Treaty?
No, the North Atlantic.
Yes.
How they speak.
Oh,
you know, like
is that
movies,
right?
Like Cary Grant.
Oh, remember?
You know?
Now wait a minute. Didn't we bring up that a long time ago in movies and other things before the advent of Jackie Robinson?
Right.
The first do we say colored? The first black man to enter the major leagues of baseball. And there should have been so many more. Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson. Jackie Robinson, and we still celebrate Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson's wife is alive at 103 years old, right? And that's because the baseball
happy early birthday,
and that's also the baseball pension just keeps rolling.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, hey, MLB,
doing all right.
MLB, listen, we'd love to be sponsored by you guys because apparently the pension keeps rolling in.
Right.
Who's the great guy? Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid by the New York Mets. The guy hasn't played in 3 decades.
That's right, yeah.
Jiminy Crickets, man. That's awesome. And these,
nice.
right. That's
Very
first
cool.
responders and veterans. And listen, me being a veteran myself, I know that's amazing for people watching this. Like they're like a veteran of what? Like El Famous Burrito, or something. But actually, yeah, I was in the Marine Corps for a score of years, and I was an airframes and power plants mechanic on F-4 Phantom fighter jets in Washington, D.C. Oddly enough, on Andrews Air Force Base. I'm like, right, how did I get this great duty? I ended up on Andrews Air Force Base on the Navy side because the Marine Corps is the Department of the Navy, for all you kids who don't know that. And that's why
Marine water.
Yeah, Marine water.
Whoa.
Oh, and we're thinking about the North Atlantic.
That's right.
Yeah, we're back to how are we in the North Atlantic?
Well, because there's
the submarines, the great submarine movies of the great North Atlantic.
Like Katharine Hepburn.
Catherine Hepburn. Oh, yes,
speak with that exaggerated.
That's
it's
right.
Not really. It's not really English. It's not really American.
Right. It's this
called North Atlantic.
This upper crust language,
right,
which is English, and it's American. It's an American dialect.
It was made by Hollywood.
Right. It's made right. They said, "Well, darling, we're going to bring the yacht out today," and then as she got older, she's like, "Well, I don't quite know if Murph's beard is up to snuff today." And Murph is the only representative of the garden gnome community here in the. Now this is the North Atlantic, but this represent. But this is more of the Midwest. You're more of a Midwest clan kind of a guy.
Irish.
Just like Irish. I didn't know there were Irish garden gnomes.
Celtic,
well, sure, Celtic.
Yep.
Wow, that's coming. So this is the busy season for you because you've got St. Patrick's Day. Now, I don't know if gnomes, do you guys really party with leprechauns? Because gnomes, leprechauns,
everybody parties with leprechauns.
Ah, that is wonderful.
Yep.
So you guys do get to, I've always wondered in the mystical world that, back to L. Frank Baum that he created, you've got munchkins, you've got elves, you've got gnomes, you've got dwarves, and you mentioned leprechauns earlier, which they have their own cereal, of course. Is that General Mills or Kellogg's? We're not sure, but pink hearts, blue diamonds, lucky, shamrocks.
Delicious.
They're trying to steal me pot of gold. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but gnomes you guys seem to be a little bit more laid back.
Definitely. We love the movie The Blues Brothers.
The gnomes do love the Blues Brothers,
big fan of the Blues Brothers.
Sometimes when I get way, way out on a topic, or actually not a topic, what Murph would call, or the garden gnomes would call, a tangent. So I get way, way, way out here. Way, way, way out here. Talladega Nights. I'm way out here somewhere. Great movie, by the way.
Yes.
But you're spinning out of control, Brian. We want you to come back to the topic.
Yes.
Right, because nobody knows what this show's about.
Well, and today we're talking
bad.
Today we're talking about the Blues Brothers.
Criers in this world.
But
can we get some Kleenex for the people who don't know what the hell's going on? Like you're gonna know what's going on later. You haven't known what's going on since you were 3. Guess what? When you're 83, you're still not gonna know what's going on. Ask your wife; she'll tell everyone. He doesn't know anything.
So back to the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, L. Frank Baum, created here in Chicago.
Frank, right?
I'll be
Frank
quiet.
Baum, Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
Frank Oz.
Wow.
Right?
The Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers.
You put it together.
Boom.
Yeah.
One of the great scenes of the Blues Brothers.
Complicated.
Right? He's like one
you to ride.
unused prophylactic.
One soiled.
One soiled.
One soiled.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Belushi signs it with an X.
Yep.
Right.
Just does
Lorenzo, believe it or not, Lorenzo reminds me a little bit of Belushi in some aspects. Very funny, right? A man known about town.
Okay.
And you know, a guy snugly built. As the cameras just saw, that's right. The bear.
He does have a teddy bear in his shirt.
He does it. Teddy bear.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much for Lorenzo showing up.
You guys ever
today.
do any Blues Brothers themed tailgate parties?
Yeah,
but the Blues Brothers have shown up.
I was actually backstage at their first and second.
Wow.
Got to hang out with them.
Nice.
Whoa!
At the prison, right? Yeah.
Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. Shots fired.
I was actually there in between takes and all that. And I became friends with the #1 Bluesmobile owner.
Yeah, right. And he's got the car, and then they've got the big speaker.
Yeah.
You two girls, you on the bicycle.
Yeah.
right. Lake Wasabamani.
I don't know why.
The Grand Ballroom.
In the scene in the movie where they drive out of the tunnel and gets knocked off.
Oh, right.
I love that scene for some reason.
Well, sure, everybody does.
Perfect. It's like, we got to get rid of it. We got to get there, and then boom.
Right. We had cigarettes, half a tank of gas. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses.
That's right.
Hit it. Right. And not to take anything away from Aykroyd, of course, and the late John Belushi, by the way. No. And one of my instructors, his brother, for many years on and off when I was at CineCity, Jim Belushi would show up on occasion and light cigarettes in odd places. We'll talk about that later.
He does the singing now.
Right. He does the singing with Aykroyd when they go out. Now they're getting a little older.
Aykroyd said that 2024 was the last year he was going to do it.
Right.
You know how those old people are.
You old people.
And a
shout out to Dan Aykroyd, by the way.
The best.
Yeah, the best. And,
how about he proposed to Carrie Fisher during the making of the Blues Brothers?
And let's talk about that, because that's where I wanted to go. Princess Leia herself.
Yes.
In Star Wars, of course. By the way, Frank Oz, and guess who lives here in Chicago? George Lucas and his wife. Right. Please don't be hanging out at the bottom of the building, but they live at the 900 North Michigan Avenue, Bloomingdale's building, as Lucas prepares to sue me right now.
Don't hang out there, but here's the exact address, and we might be there on the 14th.
That's right.
Maybe.
Downtown. George and the wife, we'd love to see you guys at the river. Yeah. And we can talk about maybe some new Star Wars projects. We can't talk about Carrie Fisher because Carrie Fisher has now unfortunately departed.
She said the greatest thing. She's like, I don't think we would have been a good married couple, but we really like drugs and partying.
Oh, Jesus. Aykroyd's
just like, he's always saying drinking and she's like, we really like drinking and drugs. You know?
Carrie, listen, and you don't think of Carrie Fisher this way, because by the way, Carrie Fisher's dad was a big star himself.
Right.
And I forget his name. I'm very sorry about that. But Carrie Fisher's dad was
Gary Fisher?
Not Jerry Fisher.
Not Jerry.
Not Jerry.
We'll figure it out.
One of the Jerrys.
Put it in the notes.
Right. We'll you can always figure through it here. Even though GC is a Giancarlo. Giancarlo has admonished you from behind pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Speaking of the Wizard of Oz.
The curtain man.
But curtain man, the curtain man cometh. The Iceman cometh and the Curtain Man cometh. That's
soon coming to CineCity Studios.
Wow. Wait a minute.
Man cometh.
Hey, I think we've used that word enough, but this is okay. Put the kids to bed. What's going on here? This is folks, that's the end of the family edition of our show. We're going to move right along now to the adult entertainment here on the Chicago Style Podcast. Back to what you were saying about Carrie Fisher. Bringing myself in. Holy cow. Whoa. Big fish here. Big fish. Carrie Fisher, one of my favorite parts in the movie is when she meets them outside of the Palace Ballroom in Lake Wasabamani. Now, I've heard that's not actually named Lake Wasabamani, but what a great Chicago name, right? You two girls meet us at Lake Wasabamani at the Palace Ballroom, right? And they got all the guys back. But Carrie Fisher, she says now she meets Jake and Elwood after they escape the ballroom because the Illinois law enforcement is all there.
Right.
And John Candy, one of the best parts where he's like, hold on. I haven't even heard these boys play yet.
Right.
You know?
And boys like orange whips.
We're the orange whip. Orange whip. Orange whip. 3 orange whips.
3 orange whips.
That's right. I mean, just
back to Carrie Fisher.
Back to Carrie Fisher. And she says, you made me. You made my dad use his last good favor from Mad Pete Trello. Who Mad Pete Trello, I believe, was a fantastic saxophonist here in Chicago who ended up not being in the movie because of a contractual agreement he had elsewhere, but they wanted to mention him because they actually, they used Donald Duck Dunn. Right. They used all these different musicians for the Blues Brothers band, which was just
Howard Shore and the leader of the SNL band.
Paul. That's right. We may have to Google something today. I don't know. Yeah, we've been banned from our phones apparently. And his phone rang right before you got here. And even more interesting,
it was him calling.
And well, listen, and a precedent was set because Giancarlo has never stopped. He didn't stop the show, okay? Because this show can't be stopped. We all know this is just a bizarre.
Rolls like that train.
It rolls like that train, which, by the way,
it's moving.
Now, you may think this is just a cheap mock-up of and it is, a cheap mock-up
You're
of
right.
a deep dish pizza. And by the way, that the melting cheese is so you can at least, because listen, guys used to run around this building here at CineCity going, what is that, a birthday cake? No, it's a pizza, for crying out loud. Or that was a different one, wasn't it, GC?
Yeah, it was a different one. Yeah, I thought that one was a birthday cake.
Right, you thought it was a birthday cake as well.
I thought that was gold.
Hey, God, that is gold.
Dripping out.
That dripping out gold. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. But this train, believe it or not, and that's the newer train. And you see the L is right there. For those of you who don't know, it's the L train, different from New York. That's right. That's the Chicago skyline dipped into a pizza.
You should check it out in the Blues Brothers. Elwood lives right next to the L station. It cruises right by there.
Right.
And then
that's on Wabash, man.
Right on Wabash.
That's on Wabash downtown.
So there's another tie into the
men's
Blues
hotel
and the train. Yeah. So there's a part of the movie that got cut where they parked their car in a spot right underneath the train station.
Yes.
And it gets electrocuted. And that's why the car has like all the magical powers where it can like jump crazy stuff.
Oh, and they cut that.
Right. They cut that out because Landis was like, oh, you know what? They'll just think it's a cop package and it's so good. But it's actually like possessed with electricity, so that's why it can do all that crazy stuff.
Now, you don't know that watching the Blues Brothers, that the car was hit with a little hoop-de-doo magic.
He parks it in the same spot every
because
night.
They do show a little magic earlier in the movie, and I'll tell you when they go visit the nun at the Holy Name, Holy Angels, Holy Kids orphanage, where apparently the Blues Brothers grew up. And I know I'm getting that name wrong. In Calumet City, Illinois, my friend. And you're GC, you're kind of a resident of Calumet, Joliet, that area. No, he back to Naperville. But listen, this guy, Magellan over here. You can't pin him down. He's on the lam. He's got, he's wanted on phones. Milk cartons. Never mind. He's an Italian person,
right?
So these guys are always in the witness protection program. Ray Liotta, right?
He's the Kaiser Sose.
Kaiser Sose. That's right.
Yep.
Kaiser Sose from the Usual Suspects.
That's right.
That's right. This is Kaiser Giancarlo. Giancarlo Kaiser. Giancarlo Sosa.
Ooh.
Buddy, I used to get a couple bags from a guy named Giancarlo Sosa. Are you kidding me? I still owe that guy money.
Yeah.
He's still rolling around Armitage and Western looking for me. He's at Arturo's Tacos like this. By the way, Arturo's Tacos, calm down. Great food. Maybe the best chicken soup in Chicago, right across from Margie's Candies. Is that Armitage? That's Armitage, Western right there. And the cross street, I think, is Milwaukee.
Okay.
Right, heading up towards the Congress Theater. Yeah. For all you Chicagoans, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Right there.
You know how much a bowl of soup cost in the Blues Brothers?
Do you know, and not with the soup Nazi from Seinfeld. No, go ahead.
They go to try to get, what's his name? And he's like, the soup costs $10 here.
Oh, right.
Like, that's a
Shea Paul.
That's what it was.
That's a Shea Paul. That's Mr. Fabulous.
Yeah, Mr. Fabulous.
Blue Lou and Mr. Fabulous. That's right.
Mr. Fabulous. And
the Blues Brothers, shit. Yeah. They still owe you money, fool. That's right. That's the great Detroit native, by the way, Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin. Maybe the best female voice ever recorded, in my opinion.
Nice.
I mean, just Aretha Franklin has songs powerful and can't be sung by anyone else.
Definitely not.
You
tried.
You make me feel like a natural podcaster.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah, we could do some covers.
We could. Hey,
but yeah, so
I hope you don't mind.
I did a little research because I wanted to see all the different musicians that were in the Blues
Brothers,
right?
Wait a minute. Now,
so
do you have some research with you? I wish,
but my printer wouldn't print anything.
Your
today.
printer?
so I gotta go off the dome.
This is the excuse of the dome. You're actually relying on brain power.
Brain power.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
So that's where you can help me.
I can help you.
So we had Cab Calloway, right?
That's right. The great Cap
Then
Calloway.
we also had the preacher was played by.
I knew a hooker named Minnie Mazzola.
Ooh,
Hit it.
right.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's Minnie the Moocher.
Minnie the Moocher.
A great Cap Calloway song.
Definitely. James Brown.
James Brown is in the movie. That's right. He's at the Far Rockaway Church.
Right. And then
have you seen the light?
In the church with him is Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan is on stage.
Singing.
Another Chicagoan, Shaka Khan.
Yep.
Shaka Khan. And let me tell you something. J.B. Ross, who has passed away, ladies and gentlemen, God rest his soul, a great Chicago entertainment lawyer. His office used to be right around where Las Corolas. That's Grandin West. That's Grandin. What is that? That's Grandin something. Grandin, Milwaukee. Right in that area. And he used to have his office right there. J.B. Ross. J.B. Ross once gave me a call because his assistant couldn't make it. He used to be, do you remember a Chicago comedian named Judy Tenuta?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so he was her representative, and he called me, he goes, Brian, what are you doing? And I said, I'm sitting here in my apartment over at 1400 Lakeshore Drive, bing, 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 hello. And he goes, can you make it over to my office? I have to pick up James Brown from the airport, and he wants to be picked up in a limousine.
Nice.
And I said, why would I come with you? And he goes, well, my assistant can't make it. Judy Tenuta can't make it. James wanted to meet Judy Tenuta for some odd reason. Well, she's funny. She was famous at the time.
She was a accordion musician.
That's right. And she and comedian, a very, and she may be another Second City kind of a person. I'm not sure about Judy Tenuta. Right. And I was finally, he goes back to the phone and does a little work here. He's straight of, there he goes again with the microphone. Folks, we're obviously not used to having such a big device in front of us, but he's over there looking up Judy Tenuta, which is fine. Now, 2 a.m, you got to clear your phone, if you know what I mean. But so I went on this trip with J.B. Ross in the limousine out to O'Hare, picked up James Brown, the Godfather of Soul. Now, by the way, J.B. Ross is about 6'4". He's a good 450.
Nope, she didn't go to Second City.
She didn't go to Second City.
She wasn't part of Second City.
She's just a Chicagoan who hit it. Yeah, she was a stand-up comedian. God rest her soul, Judy Tenuta, very funny lady. And I went with J.B. Ross to the airport. We picked up James Brown.
That's awesome.
Brought him back to his tiny, cramped, insane, hot office with no air conditioning. Not that James cared, because let me tell you,
that was his thing.
James was sweating getting off the plane, and had, by the way, I don't know where his normal entourage was, but he wasn't with him. He smelled like an old sock. I mean, and that's being nice. James, love you to death. I love all your music. Not to death. I mean, obviously in perpetuity, because you're way past that. But but I will tell you this, wherever James is right now, he feels good.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I want to reach back and kiss myself, which is obviously private time for me. But that was more Chicago stories here with, of course, Brian. And I could give you tons of, as you are probably aware, about a month ago, I gave you the Twista story with you. And was that on OnlyGovs? I'm not sure.
No, that was.
We had Kit Kat with us that day.
Yeah, that was the season finale.
That was the season finale of season one. This is season 2, I'd like to say, by the way, of the Chicago Style Podcast. Mentioning James Brown, hashtag that, by the way, and J.B. Ross, Judy Tenuta, all Chicago legends. James, I think, is more like from Mobile, Alabama or something, or Mississippi. We'll have to Google that at a later time. Someday someday when we get a budget, we'll get an assistant and we'll figure out, oh, wait a minute, the garden gnome has reached back. Now, if you folks,
I'm not used to not having the table.
But listen, it's okay. I think we can hear you anyway. But the Garden Gnome Association, folks, if you have a juniper bush in your backyard, you'll find a whispering gnome Googling things behind that juniper bush. South Carolina. We call that South Click. I didn't go to boot camp in South Carolina, but I was in the Marine Corps down there in Beaufort, South Carolina, where I learned to fix Harrier jump jets and fix them all right. I used to head out for beers, learn to fix them, things of that nature, as they used to tell me in the Marine Corps. But beautiful Marine Corps Air Station down there, which would be MCAS, Beaufort, South Carolina, right outside of beautiful Savannah, Georgia, where they did film a little bit of Forrest Gump, if you remember. He's waiting for the bus.
That's also where the midnight.
Midnight
in the Garden.
Yeah.
That one with Cusack.
Yeah, that's right. Cusack, another Chicago actor who, John, been trying to reach out to you now for a good, 40 years, which is, he's just under the statute of limitations for Mr. Cusack or Joan. Now, we get along. John and I don't, because I messed him over on some beer cans once.
Let's get Joan in here.
Let's get Joan in here, right? They're making great movies with Meg Ryan, I believe. That was a fantastic movie. And a little Carly Simon, Let the River Run. I forget, it was a great, great song by Carly Simon. Back to Chicago and her big old butt. Murph, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Because you're very good at penetrating and probing. Garden gnomes. Folks, who knew? You look into this whole thing with elves and gnomes and dwarves and goblins and what else is
we're a penetrating bunch.
You're right.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I excuse myself for, maybe 5 minutes, and I don't know how long we've been going here, but if I bring Lorenzo up here and you guys want to talk about maybe just something to do with what he does on a scale of what he does with veterans, what he does with the tailgate and veterans, and also he belongs to which is fantastic, a Hispanic group, I think, of veterans who are also Bears tailgaters. Is that right? What's the name of that group called? Now, are you comfortable coming on camera maybe for a few minutes? Is that all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring up one of the great Chicagoans and a guy who helps veterans across the Chicagoland area and is a great, of course, sports fans. And as we do here on the Chicago Style Podcast, we cover sports, entertainment, movies, television, fine dining, not so fine dining. And of course, we cover our Chicagoland veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, Lorenzo, come on up. Give him a hand. Give him a hand.
All right, and we are back with our super awesome guest, Lorenzo Camaro, without the C, Amaro. Welcome to the show. So we're a tailgater.
Yeah.
Tell us about tailgating.
Oh, God. I was deployed 20 years ago, my first deployment, and my story went viral. Every day was bears, 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 and war. And my story went viral, and I got a lot of followers back then. It was social media was kind of new. And when I got home, I was picked up by a tailgate crew. They said, come out and we'll host you. I did that. And here we are 20 years later. I'm helping host every tailgate crew I can.
So explain to us out there that don't know, what is they host you? What does that mean exactly?
Well, I team up with other bigger groups. My main focus is I kind of just became Chicago's biggest military sports fan. And I kind of just lead the way and organize a bunch of other veteran groups to come together for every tailgate. I also I was a firefighter for a few years before, during, and after 9/11. So I take care of my first responders as well. But my main focus, it's for everybody, but my main focus is helping out my fellow veterans in Chicago. Find a place to heal, hang out, meet, get out there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
As far as tailgating goes, can you kind of just give us a little rundown, like what happens? So you invite people, they show up. Is there bags? Is there beer? What's going on at the tailgate?
It is really hard. That would be probably a few podcasts. Oh, man.
Right. So is it different packages, or you just everyone show up here and just whatever happens?
Easiest way to explain it, it's one of the main ones I help out is Chicago Bears Tailgating Club, and that's over on Cermak and Wabash. I love my guys from FAT and all the other crews, but the biggest one that I've dealt with over the last 20 years is Chicago Bears Tailgating Club, and the average was anywhere between 1,200 to 1,800 people a game last year in a private lot, private party. I mean, you got, professional chefs, everything.
So it's a private lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how close is this to Soldier Field?
About a mile.
About a mile?
Yeah,
okay.
with transportation. Right next to Reggie's. Reggie's helps out a lot as well.
Nice. Yeah, we're familiar with Reggie's. Yeah, Reggie's great. Nice.
Yeah, but we...
Right.
Just beer, partying, out, which, veterans do all.
Yeah, we actually have, I'm in charge. We got our own tent, the double tent, so we can have a safe space. And then I'm also usually in charge of our celebrity guests. Like we had the Honey Bears do a reunion this last season.
I was gonna say, I haven't heard of the Honey Bears in a while.
Yeah, Misty McMichael was a very, very, very good friend of mine. Sherry Urlacher is a good friend of mine. They come. The families of Chicago Bears usually hang out in our tent. And then last year we had a different bear for every single game do signings to help raise money for Mongo and his family as well.
Oh, nice. Wow. Yeah, right.
That is so awesome.
It's very cool.
One of the bigger names that was Jim McMahon, Mike Singletary, Jim Miller. We had them all out there last year.
Wow.
Very
a lot of fun.
Steve McMichael suffered from, I believe,
ALS. Yeah, he passed
Yeah.
not too long ago.
right, very the incredible Mongo McMichael.
Right.
Offensive lineman, was
Defensive lineman,
Yeah.
also part of the Four Horsemen with Ric Flair.
Oh, wow.
he joined
That's
wrestling.
right. Yep.
Yep.
That's right. He was WWF for a while.
Yeah, he was in wrestling for a little while with Ric Flair, who I also got to meet as well through the McMichael family. We're really my family and the McMichael family are really close.
Oh, nice.
After we raised over $1,000 through, I have my own T-shirt company as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. Off the turf.
Right. Yeah. So tell us some of the places we could reach out.
My main one is Bear Army. Bear Army is the
Bear
one I
Army?
go under. It's more of a page for veterans, and it's a little spicy. Let's just say that it's not PG.
And speaking of WWF, folks, I'm
Here
going
we
to
go.
tag in.
Tag it in.
The tag team. The tag in. Off the top. Holy cow! Don't do that if you're a senior citizen, folks.
Off the turnbuckle. Now now you have two veterans right here, me and Zoe, and we're gonna. It's amazing. By the way, thank you, Murph, very much. That was amazing. Great questions for military veterans, and of course Bears fans and tailgaters, and of course we have the incredible Lorenzo Amaro here, like Camaro, but take the C off. For those of you who don't know what a Camaro is, that's because you're young. They don't make Camaros anymore. Good Lord, and they've tried. They've tried to resurrect them, just like us, many times. But we just won't go away, unlike the Camaro, just like the Camaro. Now, being friends with the McMichael family, and I assume that you probably met the recently departed Mr. McMichael himself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of my best friends played in the NFL, and not this last Super Bowl, but the one prior. It was my friend who played in the NFL, his wife, my wife and kids,
Oh, wow.
and Steve and Misty and their daughter, and that was it. And I sat there. I'm like, I'm in a place where after 20 years, it's just our three little families in
That's
their
amazing.
house. And I was like, I got to do that during the last Super Bowl
Wow.
prior. And that was just an honor.
Yeah, that is an honor. And I mean, being a veteran, dude, we're honored just with your presence. And that's amazing. I do want to cover this one section of this has not quite as much to do with tailgating, but this turn that Mongo McMichael, and by the way, he's recently entered into the Hall of Fame. Was that right before he passed? I do believe.
Yeah, it was. We
right
were
before he
actually
passed.
Honored to be there as well.
Wow, that's amazing. And I know he was not posthumously, easy for me to say, entered into the Hall of Fame. He was alive, and he was aware that he got to see it. He knew he was entered into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame flew Misty directly from his bedside to the Hall of Fame after he got in.
Wow.
So, and a lot of his fellow brethren from that era of the 80s Bears were beside his bed.
The 85 Bears, right.
They streamed it live at the Hall of Fame from his bedside, and it was a tearjerker.
Oh, it's amazing. And all of us in Chicago, of course, loved the 85 Bears, especially Mongo McMichael. And then he ended up wrestling, which you brought up, and it's amazing to me, that part of his life where, I mean, and he was just suited for it. I mean, I don't know if you remember, he got thrown out of a Chicago Cubs game years ago, where not a popular, and I'm a big Cubs fan, not a very popular home plate umpire. I forget his name. I believe he's oh my gosh, his name slips my mind, but he made a bad call at the plate, and McMichael was up in the booth with Harry Carey, or at least Chip Carey, and some of the other announcers. And McMichael, Chicago icon here on the Chicago podcast, Steve McMichael leans up to the microphone and yells out into the Wrigley Field crowd. He goes, I'm going to have me some speaks with the home plate umpire. You can count on that. And the umpire takes off his mask in total shock, turns around to the announcement booth, points at McMichael, and goes like this, "You're out." And I want to tell you, folks, I did not want to be, you don't want to be the Andy Frayne guys, the 375-pound men who had to go up to the announcement booth at Wrigley Field that day and ask McMichael to leave the building. And they did ask him to. Now, that guy's instantly legendary to get kicked out of Wrigley Field for saying, I'm going to have some speaks with the home plate umpire.
Yeah,
Your take on that.
I didn't see it live, but his wife actually brought it up. We usually go out to see them. We still visit the family at least once a month, twice a month. We talk every other
That's
day,
great. That's
her
great.
and I, and she talks to my entire family, my kids, my wife. I was just there last month, and I got to see the jersey. He was proud of it. He was proud. He kept that jersey, and some of the ones you see him do with his band as well. They're side by
And he
side.
did
but
have
yeah.
a band. That's right. And
Yeah.
they also had a if I'm right near Romeoville, they had like a little restaurant / bar.
They did for a little bit. He
Yeah.
tried to go for mayor, and unfortunately,
Yeah,
he
I
was
remember that.
too cool for that.
Too
But he was. I was actually fun fact. In the middle of my first deployment in 2006, I was there at the last fan convention at the Hilton, I believe it was.
Oh
and
yeah,
I was
Chicago Hilton and Tower, 720 South Michigan Avenue. Thank
I
you.
was home for 2 weeks during a 15-month deployment, and my son and I were the last fans to leave the building. I really wanted to just talk to Steve McMichael. And
Right.
I have a picture of that. So we were the last few people there at the last convention in Chicago. That was awesome.
Just unbelievable. I remember the fan conventions at the Chicago Hilton and Tower, 720 South Michigan Avenue, as I just said. For those people who don't know that I was hanging out with Urlacher and Paris Hilton for a little while, we'll talk about that later.
He was actually on the bus.
On the bus.
He was actually Paris Hilton and Urlacher came on the tailgate bus.
That's right. And we've been given the 5-minute signal signal, which is not a single at all, but it's a 5-minute signal indicating that it's almost time to end the show. But I want to tell you something. This is all legendary Hall of Fame information that you're providing today here on the Chicago Style Podcast to do with our veterans, and for much further ado, the Chicago Bears, the 85 Bears, the last winning Super Bowl winning Bear team here in Chicago, of course. And we felt the magic last year for a little bit with Caleb and the guys. We felt that now Murph doesn't like it if we put things in a time zone. If we put it in a time capsule, you never know if we're boxing ourselves in. Marcel. But I really felt great about the Bears' chances last year and these miracle throws and plays that Caleb provide. I don't know if you've ever met Caleb or seen him.
One of very few I have not met.
Yeah. But
I'm eager to.
An amazing, I'm sure you will very soon. An amazing athlete, and I'm sure he'll be now. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, started coming to a lot of Bears games in the playoffs right at the end of last year at Soldier Field, where hopefully the Bears will remain. We don't know. We're not sure. Arlington Heights, lots of fun out there. I think they bought the property where the Arlington race course was for the horses. Yeah. That's right. And there's still a couple horses out there. Just just ride them around. You may find a winner. But this season coming up, I have a lot of hope for. Unfortunately, our looks like our center Dahlman just resigned yesterday. He just said, "Hey, I've had enough," and we wish him the best. But I'm sure if Drew was here, I wouldn't be talking that smack because he couldn't fit in this room. Someday we'll expand when we grow up, we'll expand to a bigger room. But
the table.
We just got, folks. We had this, folks. We had this IKEA table here. And by the way, being a floor host at Polecats and many other establishments, I've sold more tables than IKEA. I want to tell you that, especially if you chuck that reserve sign on the floor. It makes me really happy. Then I'm going to have to require you to make a donation to the Widows and Orphans. That's right. Which comes in the envelope later that night. But it's been such an honor, and I'm glad you made it. I didn't know if you were going to make it actually. There is no, first of all, with the Chicago Style Podcast, folks, there is no on time. Okay. It's just, we go when we go. Now, Ms. Prez, shout out to Ms. Prez and also to Kit Kat. We love you guys very much. The shout out is there.
We are on time though. Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. when you watch our show on YouTube.
We're
always on time.
Well, folks, I'm gonna give a hearty adieu and thank you so much, Lorenzo.
Thanks,
and we're gonna
guys.
bring Murph out just for the goodbye.
Lorenzo did.
What happened? What did he do? What has Lorenzo done?
He gave us some information that we didn't even know.
Oh my God!
Chicago Style Podcast.
Yeah,
it's Chicago's birthday today.
Oh, wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen,
Right?
Lorenzo.
So, Lorenzo,
that's right. I had already forgotten.
That.
Ladies and gentlemen, and what is today's date? It's March the 4th?
4th.
March the 4th, ladies and gentlemen. Check your phones, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. 2026.
2026.
So he was talking about the Bears in 2025.
That's right. I believe the city of Chicago was incorporated in 1885 at a local Walmart. And that's all right. And by the way, everybody knows that and that's right. And
We got
folks,
this
coming up is
in your future.
That's right. This is the gossip columnist's daughter by a gentleman named Peter Orner. And we are going to be exploring this side of a very sad tale, a mystery that happened out in Los Angeles back in 1962, I do believe, with the unfortunate demise of Cookie Kupcinet. But we are going to talk. We're going to read this book. We're going to look into it. It is not an authorized biography or autobiography of the event, but there's many things that the Kupcinet family wants to look into, of course, about this, because this is unsolved.
Yep.
And we are, of course, D-Cup, Dave Kupcinet, D-Cup, is a FOS, friend of the show here at the Chicago Style Podcast, and one of our greatest benefactors. And we'll talk about this book soon and look into this. A great Chicago family, the Kupcinet family, for those of you who remember Irv Kupcinet, who very famous and good friends with the likes of Frank Sinatra, Liza Minnelli, Sammy Davis Jr., and
Lucille Ball.
Lucille Ball, very, very close with Lucille Ball, Clark Gable, and by the way, Desi Lou Productions, we send a shout out to them if they're still making anything. But folks, we are the Chicago Style Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Jurgens, also known as Brian Schyler, and of course, the lovely Murph in the morning. We want to send a hearty thanks to Lorenzo. Without
Lorenzo.
Amaro, that's right, Amaro. Thank you so much for your service to our country, and really just the entertainment you provide, which is part of Chicago's style. Everybody's style is Chicago style. Hustle so fast, it's more than podcast. Here on the Chicago Style Podcast. We love you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Brian, we have my gloves down there.
Oh, sure, your gloves. Just ask for Gus.
Thank you.
Yeah,
buddy.
Sure, your gloves.
Right,
Murph's going to do some safe cracking later.
All right, everybody.
It's
been fun.
Wow, not that fun, buddy. Hey, Doc, are you using the whole fist? Folks, we'll see you next time. Take care, and God bless. We'll see you around. Thank you.